Today we're going to take a look at completing the square. So another way to solve these quadratics. So the first thing we're going to do is review this. So as a reminder, x minus 3 squared is x minus 3 times x minus 3. And if we multiply this out, we have x squared minus 3x minus 3x plus 9. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 9. And then x plus 5 squared. X plus 5 times x plus 5. So we got x squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25. So we have x squared plus 10x plus 25. And then if we had to factor these, some of these you might still need to do box and circle, but some of you might be able to do this in your head. So this was x minus 3 times x minus 3. So we have x minus 3 squared. And then we have x plus 4 times x plus 4. So we have x plus 4 squared. Now what we're going to do today is look at how can we get these problems into these perfect squares. So we can solve something like x plus 9 squared equals 100. So we can use that square root method. So the first thing we're going to look at is a picture. Well, if we were to make a picture of this, we have x squared, 4x, and negative 32. And if we want this to be a perfect square, what that means is our dimensions have to be the same. Well, if we have 4x, that would mean 2x and 2x. So we'd have plus 2 and plus 2, but 2 times 2 gives us 4, not 32. So that doesn't quite work. This 32 is messing us up. So let's move it to the other side. So now we have x squared plus 4x equals 32. Now in that picture, we have our x squared, and we need 4 x's, so that works, 2x and 2x. So you have x and x. But to complete the square, we'd have to fill this in with a value of 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm adding 4 to each side. So we just completed the square, and our dimensions, x plus 2 squared, equals 36. And now it's nice and easy. We can take the square root of each side. X plus 2 equals 36. Oops, not 36, excuse me. 6. And x plus 2 equals negative 6. So we have our two answers. X equals 4 and x equals negative 4. So when we take a look at this next part here, we are going to, I feel like I did something wrong here, but I think it looks okay. Minus 2, minus 2. Oh, here we go. Minus 2, minus 2. Thought something seemed odd. Negative 8. Now what are we doing here? What's the formula? Well, we rewrite it. If you're not a picture person, what's happening here? So we rewrite it to x squared plus bx equals c. And then here's that formula, b over 2 squared, but I always kind of think about that visual. What are we doing? Why is it b over 2? Well, we split up our b value. So that's where we get the b over 2 from, because we're cutting that in half. And then why is it squared? Well, to fill in this little box, this is b over 2, and we're squaring it. So we have 32 plus b over 2 squared. And then it factors into x plus b over 2. So x plus 2 squared. And over here we'd have that 36. And then we can solve it. So let's take a look at a couple of these. And we're going to look at both the picture and algebraically today. So we'll add 48 to each side. So we have k squared minus 8k equals 48. So that's our first step algebraically and as a picture. Now in a picture, how are we going to draw this? Well, we have k squared, so k and k. We have negative 8k's, so this has to be 4k and 4k. And then it equals 48. So we have minus 4 and minus 4 for our dimensions. Well, what's going to go here is negative 4 squared, or 16. So algebraically, again, we have k squared minus 8k plus, we take our b value, divide it in half, so we get those outside parts, and then we square it. And we have to add that to both sides. 48 plus, and now it's factored into k minus 4 squared, because our length and our width are the same thing, and this equals 64. And now we can square root each side. So k minus 4 equals 8. K minus 4 equals negative 8. So here we have negative 4, and k equals 12. The last one we're going to take a look at, it just requires one additional step, because you'll see our a value is 7 and not 1. So we'll divide everything by 7. So now we have kx squared minus, I'll switch that to an x, 2x minus 8. Add the 8 to each side. 2x equals 8. So algebraically, x squared minus 2x equals 8. In our picture, x squared, we have two x's, so minus x and minus x, so minus 1 equals 8. Well, here negative 1 squared to each side. So algebraically, we have x squared minus 2x plus our b value over 2 squared equals 8 plus our b value over 2 squared. And now what does it factor into? X minus 1 squared equals 9. So we have x minus 1 equals 3, x minus 1 equals negative 3. So x equals 4 over here, and x equals negative 2.